When you think of The Legend of Zelda, three names always come to mind: Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. But here's the truth, some of the most unforgettable moments in the entire series don't belong to them at all. They belong to the characters on the sidelines, the quirky merchants, the unlikely companions, and the villains who broke the mould. These are the characters who stole the spotlight, and sometimes they made us care about Hyrule more than the so-called main characters ever could. Well, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button down below for even more Zelda content here on Triforce Times, and stick around to the end of the video for an exclusive offer to channel members. Well, first of all, why side characters matter in The Legend of Zelda. So Link has always been designed as a silent, almost faceless protagonist, a character who reflects the player more than he speaks for himself. That's part of what makes Zelda special. We project ourselves into Link's shoes. But the downside is that Link rarely carries the emotional weight of the story. That responsibility almost always falls to the characters around him, the companions, the rivals, the villains, even the comic relief Weirdos. Now think about it, Midna is one who delivers the gut punch at the end of Twilight Princess, Linebeck is the one who makes you laugh throughout Phantom Hourglass, Groose is the one who changes the way you see Skyward Sword, and without them these games would be perfectly fine adventures, but with them they become unforgettable. Zelda's side characters are often the real heart of the story, giving each game its unique personality. The magic of Zelda isn't just about dungeons and bosses, it's about Hyrule feeling alive. Characters like Beedle or Tingle may not affect the main plot at all, but they definitely flesh out the world. They're the reason why you feel like you're stepping into a place that has history, culture, and humour. Without these strange and memorable faces, Zelda risks feeling like another fantasy adventure. And that's why fans often walk away remembering the side cast more than Link himself. You know, I asked the Triforce Times community about this, and one fan put it, Linebeck, all of his interactions get a good laugh, and his musical theme is pretty catchy too. You know, Zelda thrives on these moments, when a supporting character steps out of the shadows to make you laugh, or make you cry, or just make the world feel alive. Well, next up we've got the companions that outshine Link. So Midna is the perfect example of a side character stealing the show. When she first appears in Twilight Princess, she's mischievous, sarcastic, and almost cruel towards Link. She doesn't exist to guide him so much as to use him for her own goals. But as the story unfolds, you start to see her vulnerability, her fears, and eventually her selflessness. By the end of the game, she's no longer just an ally, she's the emotional heart of the entire journey. You know, one fan put it well, her arc, her motivations, her fears, her intensity, her quirkiness, her love for the characters that we love, and her self-sacrifice. You know, it's no wonder so many players still call her their favourite Zelda character, even when compared to Link or Zelda themselves. Linebeck from Phantom Hourglass is another character who completely hijacks the spotlight. At first glance, he's a cowardly, selfish adventurer who only cares about treasure and staying out of danger. But the beauty of his character is how much he grows. By the end of the game, this reluctant companion transforms into someone who proves his bravery and earns your respect. His constant comedic banter, the over-the-top cowardness make him unforgettable, to the point where fans often remember Linebeck more than the game's actual story. You know, one fan said all of his interactions get a good laugh. Then you got Tattle from Majora's Mask, who often gets overshadowed by the more famous Navi. But unlike Navi's simple, hey, listen, Tattle actually goes through an arc. She starts off bratty and dismissive, reluctantly tagging along with Link. Over time though, she softens, becoming a genuine partner who cares about his success and survival. Her growth mirrors the themes of Majora's Mask: forgiveness, change, and second chances. That kind of subtle storytelling makes her far more than just another helpful character. Even Fi from Skyward Sword, although divisive amongst fans, stands out when you consider her role as the tragic companion. While her robotic demeanour frustrated some players, her parallel with Girahim, both beings created to serve as swords for their masters, makes her story bittersweet. For some players, this shift turned Fi from a frustrating guide into one of the most memorable companions in the series. Well, next up we got the villains that stole Ganondorf's thunder. So Ganondorf is the eternal villain of Zelda, the figure who looms over the series as Link's ultimate rival, but every so often Nintendo gives us someone different, a new face with a new style of menace. And sometimes those villains end up stealing the thunder from Ganondorf himself. Take Vati for example. He's not just another dark sorcerer, he's a character with a real arc, starting as a Minish apprentice before giving into his lust for power. His design, his tragic origins, and the fact that he actually carried multiple games on his own makes him one of the few Zelda villains that feel more like than just a one-off. Fans still talk about him to this day, wishing Nintendo would bring him back. As one fan put it, I just found him really cool. I just like the concept of his story and how he actually became a villain. Vati proved that Zelda could thrive with a villain who wasn't Ganon at all. Then you've got Girahim from Skyward Sword, flamboyant, dramatic, unpredictable. He's the polar opposite of Ganondorf's stoic menace. Every time he's on screen he commands attention, whether he's taunting Link with an unsettling charm or showing off his deadly skills. His exaggerated personality made him entertaining. But he wasn't just a joke, his role as a dark counterpart to Fi gave him surprising depth. As one fan said, I really like his personality and how entertaining he is. I also love Fi, so I think I like the two of them, they're nice parallels of each other. Even characters with smaller roles like Queen Ritella in Twilight Princess managed to leave a lasting impression. She isn't a main villain, but her presence adds a haunting beauty to the game world. Her story is tragic, her design is elegant, and she stands out in a game full of memorable faces. It's proof that Zelda's strength isn't just in the big three characters, but in the rogues gallery and the side figures that make every entry unique. These villains show that when Zelda dares to step outside the cycle of Ganondorf, it can deliver some of the most creative and memorable antagonists in the series. And for some fans, these are the ones who stick with you long after the credits roll. Next up we got the Weirdos who became legends. So not every Zelda character earns their place in the spotlight by being noble or tragic. Sometimes it's the weirdos, the strange, eccentric, and the downright bizarre characters who leave the biggest impact. These are the figures who make Hyrule feel less like a fantasy kingdom and more like a living, unpredictable world. Groose in Skyward Sword is the perfect example. He starts as a loud, arrogant bully with a ridiculous pompadour and an ego even bigger than his hair. At first he feels like pure comic relief, a character you're meant to laugh at and ignore. But somewhere along the way he transforms into something more. When he steps up to fight alongside Link, building his own Groosenator to defend the world below, he earns respect from players everywhere. His arc is so unexpected that it feels like it steals the game's spotlight from Link himself. So as one fan put it, he's basically the underdog who proves he's more than just a joke. Then you got Beedle, the wandering merchant with his massive backpack. On the surface he's just a shopkeeper, but fans can't stop speculating about him. How does he carry such a huge load? Why does he appear in so many different games across timelines? Exactly how rich is this guy? Beedle is more than just a vendor, he's a walking mystery, and his eccentric presence has turned him into a fan favourite legend. Tingle of course might be the most infamous of all of Zelda's weirdos, a grown man obsessed with fairies, floating around with a balloon, and charging absurd amounts of rupees for maps. He's one of the strangest Nintendo characters they've ever created, and yet he's become very popular, or perhaps notorious. You know, he got his own spin-off games in Japan. Love him or hate him, Tingle is unforgettable, and that makes him one of Zelda's most enduring icons. These characters may not be warriors or villains, but they give Zelda its colour, its humour, and its unpredictability. They're proof that in Hyrule even these strange side characters can become legends in their own right. Okay, next up, let's have a look at what this says about the Legend of Zelda itself. So the fact that so many Zelda fans point to side characters as their favourites says something about the series. Link, Zelda and Ganondorf may be the pillars of the franchise, but they're often defined by their roles in the cycle of a hero, princess and villain. It's the characters around them, the companions, the rivals, the oddballs, who give each game its unique identity. In a way, this is by design. Link is intentionally left blank, so players can see themselves in him. But that means the emotional core of the story has to come from somewhere else. Midna's sacrifice, Linebeck's reluctant bravery, Groos's redemption, or even Beedle's eccentricity. These moments give players something to latch onto, something to feel. Zelda thrives on not just epic battles and dungeons, but on the personalities that make the world feel alive. But it also shows how versatile these series can be. One game's most memorable character might be a tragic villain like Vati, whilst another's might be a ridiculous comic relief like Tingle. That range from heartfelt to absurd is what makes Hyrule very, very memorable. Every player walks away with a different favourite and often isn't the hero holding the Master Sword. In the end, The Legend of Zelda isn't just the story of one boy in green fighting the forces of evil. It's the story of a world and the characters who fill it. And sometimes those characters manage to steal the spotlight, reminding us that Zelda's magic lies as much in its people as in the legend. So while Link may hold the Master Sword, it's often the people around him who give each adventure its heart. Well, these are just a handful of characters who've stolen the spotlight. Every Zelda fan has their own favourite. The one NPC or companion who made their adventure stick in the memory long after the credits roll on the game. So I'd really love to hear from you. Who is your favourite Zelda character outside of Link, Zelda and Ganondorf? Who do you think deserves more love, or maybe even their own game? Put your answer in the comments, I would love to hear from you. Well, that is it for this video today, looking at the Zelda characters who stole the spotlight who weren't Link, Zelda and Ganondorf. And as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for even more Zelda content here on Triforce Times. Thanks again, and I'll see you real soon. Well, thank you so much for watching the video, but today I'd like to let you know about the Triforce Times store. If you like Triforce Times content and you want to get some merchandise, then browse the online store today. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and loads more in all shapes and sizes and colours. Also, if you didn't see something on the store that you want, then let me know in the comments. Comment on the video and let me know what you want to see in the merch store, and I will make it happen. So if you enjoy Triforce Times and want to go above and beyond to support, then the store is a great place to do that. And also, you're going to get some high quality merchandise as well, so check out the Triforce Times store today with a selection of merch below each video, and you can also check out the store link in the description if you'd like to browse the whole store. Well, this video is brought to you by Triforce Times Backstage. This is available through Patreon or YouTube membership, and you're going to get exclusive benefits, plus you'll be able to go above and beyond to support Triforce Times. Free content is core to Triforce Times, and you can continue to enjoy these videos that you know and love. However, if you want to enjoy the benefits like early access, our community Discord, shoutouts in the credits of videos, content polls and exclusive videos, then select the tier that is right for you and join Triforce Times Backstage today. So help me make Triforce Times be even bigger and better, plus you're going to get some added benefits for a small fee every month. Well, thank you for listening, and now it is time to go back to the video.